Welcome to Melting Pot, the show where we talk about life in North America. My name is June Park. I was born in South Korea, but my family and I moved to the United States when I was 16. There are many immigrants from all over the world here. Over 45 million people living in the United States and Canada were born in a foreign country. That's a lot of people. And today, we're going to meet a few of them.
My name is Nami Musali.
Thank you for being our guest here at Melting Pot.
Thank you. I was born in Damascus, Syria.
How old were you when you moved to the US?
When I came to the United States, I was 12 years old.
And what was that like, coming here as a 12-year-old boy?
It was very different. I grew up in a small town, southern Damascus.
What did you used to do for fun in Syria?
I used to play a lot of soccer.
What do you miss most about your home country?
My mother, definitely. That's the number one thing, definitely. Spent a lot of time together.
Well, thanks for being our guest here at Melting Pot.
My name is Patricia de Oliveira. I am originally from Brazil.
How old were you when you moved?
When I moved to the United States, I was 6 years old.
What was it like for your family to move to a new country?
When we first moved to the United States, it was difficult, quite a culture shock. My parents didn't speak any English when they first moved here, and so I used to translate for them in the beginning, but as they took classes and learned English, that stopped.
What languages do you speak?
I speak both Portuguese and English now.
What do your parents miss the most about their home country?
The proximity of our family members. In Brazil, because there was a lot of family around, there's always picnics, parties, going to the beach.
Have you been back to visit?
I have not been back to visit yet. I would like to visit Brazil very soon.
My name is Rolando Carrera. I was born in Chihuahua, Mexico. It's the northern area of the country.
When you were a kid, what did you used to do for fun?
Most of the time I have to say that I used to listen to music in English. I used to listen to records over and over and over.
What did you used to do for work in Mexico?
I used to work for a record company.
What was it like moving to the United States?
In the beginning, it was difficult not to be able to communicate and talk to people and make yourself understood. And so I felt frustrated a lot of times. But once my English improved, I was able to communicate better.
What do you miss most about your home country?
Besides my family, the food, and the food is amazing in Mexico. It's very colorful.
Well, thank you for being our guest here on Melting Pot.
You're very welcome.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
What is your name?
Mihoko Hakata. I'm from Tokyo, Japan.
How long have you been in the United States?
It's been about 8 years. I went to school in New York City. I used to study art, and now I go to school in Boston.
What do you miss most about your home country?
I miss this place called Shonan. There's a beach and many restaurants also.
Well, thank you for being our guest on Melting Pot.
Thank you.
So many people, so many stories. Maybe you're wondering about me. What I remember most about Korea is the food my grandmother used to make. Yukgaejang. It's shredded beef in spicy broth. Yummy. This is pretty good, but not quite as good as my grandmother's. Hers is still the best. And that's our show. This is June Park reporting from Melting Pot.
Good morning, folks. I hope you enjoyed the ferry ride from Vancouver. Welcome to Victoria, British Columbia. We have a lot to see today, so let's get this tour started. This historic landmark is the Fairmont Empress Hotel. Many famous guests have stayed here, from writers, kings and queens, to actors and actresses, to politicians.
Can you tell us when the hotel opened?
Yes, it opened in 1907.
Do you know how much a room costs for one night?
Well, the Empress is a luxury hotel, so a room should run over 300 Canadian dollars. This is the Royal British Columbia Museum. It contains a giant woolly mammoth and masks made by the first people who lived in this area, the Kwakwaka'wakw.
Rita, can you tell me how late the museum is open?
Yeah, it's open until 5 p.m.
Thank you. Maybe we'll go there later.
This is Thunderbird Park. In 1941, these totem poles were actually set up outside the museum.
Excuse me, but can you tell us where the totem poles come from originally?
Yeah, they're from the people of the First Nations. That's the term we use in Canada for Indigenous people. The images represent animals and people, and they tell stories from history. Craigdarroch Castle was built in the 1890s. It has 4 floors and 39 rooms. It's famous for its stained glass windows.
What? What?
Oh, you're awake now.
Oh no, I guess I fell asleep. What time is it?
It's 1:15.
Oh no. My flight leaves at 3. I have to get back to Vancouver. Can you tell me how long it will take to get to the Vancouver airport from here?
Well, it's going to take a long time. You have to get back to the harbor and then get onto the ferry and then get back to the airport. So...
And can you tell me how long until the tour ends?
about 45 minutes to an hour from now.
Oh no. That's not enough time for me to make my flight.
This is Beacon Hill Park. The totem pole was carved in 1956 by a Kwakwaka'wakw artist named Mongo Martin. It's actually the 4th tallest in the whole world.
Can you wait while we take some pictures?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Thanks. There's too many totem poles in this place. Hey, can you tell me when the next ferry for Vancouver leaves?
3 o'clock? Okay, here we are back at the ferry, and that concludes our tour of Victoria, BC. I hope that you guys enjoyed your tour, and we hope that you'll enjoy your stay while you are here in Victoria.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
No problem. Hey, listen, sorry you missed your flight.
Oh well. Since there's not enough time for me to make my flight, I'll just find a room in a cheap hotel and sleep. Oh. There's one. I'll just go there. Bye.
That's not...
Oh no.
Listen, you guys, I know we're close friends, but this is ridiculous. We have to move. We've looked at 3 apartments so far. It's time to make a decision.
Okay, let's review each apartment. I know it isn't much bigger than this place, but I like the apartment on Hudson Street. The location is great. We can walk to school.
Yeah, there are 3 bedrooms, but I wish it was bigger.
But it's so convenient. We can walk to the library to study, and that saves money too.
But if we have a bigger apartment, we don't need to study at the library. We could study at home. The apartment on Hudson Street is too close to school. It's like living in a dormitory.
Yeah, that's true, but it isn't as noisy as this place. And I can't study when it's noisy.
Yes, it's quieter, but it's also darker. The kitchen is dingy, and the bathroom only has one tiny window.
Who needs a bathroom with a view?
The Lakeview apartment is much bigger and brighter. It has plenty of windows.
Yeah, but Lakeview Drive isn't as convenient as Hudson Street. It's in the suburbs. It'll take us at least an hour to get to school.
But it has much more space. There are 3 bedrooms, a living room, and a big kitchen.
It's also $700 a month. That's much more expensive than the other apartments.
It's only $150 more than we pay now. Between the 3 of us, that's not much.
Yeah, I guess. I just wish it was a little cheaper.
The kitchen is nice. I'd like to be able to cook once in a while. We can't make a real meal in this apartment.
Yes, and cooking at home saves money. Which is your favorite apartment, Molly?
I like the apartment on 3rd Avenue. It's nice and not as expensive as the others. Only $500 a month. It's also downtown, so there's plenty of public transportation.
Okay, the location is pretty good and the rent isn't as high as this place, but is it safe? Isn't it dangerous downtown at night?
It's just as safe as any other neighborhood. We should be cautious no matter where we live, but maybe a little extra cautious downtown.
What about space? 2 people have to share a bedroom, or 1 person has to use the living room as a bedroom. That's not going to be me.
There wouldn't be any privacy.
Oh, we can work that out. Look, the appliances are brand new and the bathroom is bright. It's the nicest apartment.
Okay, let's take a vote. Write down the apartment you think we should take. We have a winner. Let's call the landlord and tell him we'll take it.
Live from Cleveland in the heart of beautiful Ohio, it's What's Cooking? Now say hello to your favorite chef, Giuliana Romano. Here's Giuliana.
What's going on? Where's Giuliana?
Olivia, I just ate something bad. I'm sick and can't come to the studio. Jimmy, quick, go to tape. Hey, there's Hank. Let's get him to do it.
A sports reporter? Are you kidding me? Has he ever even cooked anything?
I don't know, and I don't care. Look, we have no choice. He's the only one who is here right now.
This is a recipe for disaster.
Funny. You just stay behind the camera.
Hi there. I'm Hank Walker, host of the Daily Sports Report. Giuliana isn't feeling well today, so I'm going to be your chef. So what is today's recipe?
On the counter.
Oh, it's an Italian dish called chicken con mozzarella. Looks like chicken stuffed with mozzarella cheese. Sounds delicious. Let's get started. Okay, first we need to turn on the oven. Now you always have to preheat an oven, kind of like a baseball player warming up.
That's the microwave. You want the oven.
This is a microwave? This is a microwave. Okay, so first go to the oven and turn it to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about 175 degrees Celsius. You know what? This is gonna take some time. Why don't we turn it up hotter and get the chicken cooked faster? Next, the chicken. Look, where's the chicken? Here, chicken. Here, chicken. Ah, here it is. It's in the refrigerator. Let's see, now what? Pound the chicken. Pound it? Pound the chicken? Really? Okay. Okay. feels really good. Like that? Does that look good? You like that? Okay, I don't think these guys are going anywhere. Then, sprinkle the chicken with a little salt and a little pepper. And spread butter on the chicken. After that, roll a strip of mozzarella cheese inside each piece of chicken. I like this. Hey, maybe Juliana can host my sports show one day. Secure with toothpick. You know what? I don't know if those are going to stay in place. Put one there. There. Huh? Oh! Good. Then beat 2 eggs. Okay, this is sounding like a boxing match, huh? So, scramble them. After that, roll the chicken in flour, the eggs, and breadcrumbs. Place in a baking dish. Really? Okay. Great. Breadcrumbs. After that, we sprinkle with rosemary. I like rosemary. It smells delicious. You know what? Let's add more. Okay. Finally, we put the chicken in the oven and we bake it for 20 minutes. And if you get it right, it ought to look like this. All right, sports fans, food friends, that's our show for today.
Ah, finally some peace and
Sweet! Yeah! Awesome!
quiet.
I'm gonna go fishing. I'm gonna go set up the tent.
Don't worry, Ed. I'll keep an eye on them. You've had a hard week. Why don't you grab a chair and your book and take it easy? I'll get things set up.
No, it's fine. Maybe I can help Lisa with the tent. You can go fishing with Ben.
Uh-uh. No fishing until camp is set up. Ben?
Yeah?
Ben, honey, you have to help your sister and father set up the tent. Then you can go fishing, okay?
Aw, Mom!
Ben?
Okay, but for how long?
Not long at all. And after, if everyone's nice, we can roast marshmallows over the fire.
All right! Can we go fishing now? Please?
Ben, don't you think you should get your sleeping bag out and get yourself set up in there? I mean, you ought to think about tonight. Plan ahead. There won't be much light later.
I guess you're right.
Come on, Ben, I'll help.
Ed, you don't have to. Ben can do it himself.
I don't mind. Besides, I'll probably fall asleep in there, and that would be a good thing.
Mom, look!
Oh, what a beautiful leaf. What are you going to do with it?
I don't know yet. Maybe I'll make something in art class.
Great idea.
Or I'll draw a face on it and hang it on my door.
Nice.
No, I'll probably just leave it like it is forever.
Oh, honey, leaves don't last forever. They dry up. But you can do this. Here, watch me. There. That should keep it in good shape for a while.
Okay.
Why don't you go collect some more leaves?
All right.
I guess I'm not reading a book.
Honey, you don't have to read right away. As soon as you and Ben are done in there, you two can go fishing. Ben, how much longer are you going to be in there?
Ben!
Ben? He's not in there.
Where'd he go?
Ben?
Gone fishing.
Don't be too long. Remember, we've got marshmallows to roast.
Oh, I love roasted marshmallows.
Uh-huh. And after that, you can read books all you want.
Books? I'm not gonna waste my time reading books when I have fish to catch, leaves to collect, and marshmallows to roast.
Mom, look!
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Alexis. How was school?
Fine. Is Mom home yet?
No, she just called. She's working late tonight, so we're on our own for dinner. I thought we could heat up the leftovers from last night. You wouldn't mind having the same thing again. Yes. What is it?
Nothing. It's just that, well, my computer's in the shop this week. Remember, I'm having it upgraded.
Yes. So?
So can I borrow yours?
Sure, no problem. But not right now. I need to finish this. In the meantime, would you mind taking out the trash?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot. I'll go do that right now.
You always forget. And would you mind hanging up your coat, please?
Okay. Would you please let me know when I can use the computer?
Sure. Would you mind telling me what you're doing?
Nothing. Can I use the computer now?
You can have it as soon as I'm finished with it.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna stand here and wait for a while then.
Ugh. I've got an idea. Why don't you go clean up your room?
I'll clean it up tonight after dinner.
When you clean up your room, you get to use the laptop. That's the deal.
Okay, I'll go clean it up now. But after that,
You can use the laptop.
promise?
Promise.
Come in.
Mind turning down the music? It's so loud. I brought you the laptop. Well done, by the way.
Thanks. Hey, Dad, you didn't log out of your email account?
I didn't?
No.
Oh well. Anyway, it looks much better in here.
Thanks, but Dad, your desktop is totally a mess. And you haven't organized any of your bookmarks, and you haven't emptied the trash in days.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was such a mess.
You should at least empty out the trash. That takes up a lot of space on your hard drive.
I guess I just forgot. Tell you what, how about you clean up my desktop, and I'll order us a pizza for dinner.
Deal.
Nothing says happy birthday or congratulations like a beautifully frosted cake. With just a few steps, you can frost a cake with confidence and enjoy the oohs and ahs from your guests. You'll need this basic equipment: a long serrated knife, cake plate, waxed paper, simple syrup, pastry brush, offset spatula, frosting. Step 1. Make flat tops. If the cake layers have dome-shaped tops, you'll need to trim them to make the tops flat. Place a cooled cake layer on a sheet of waxed paper. This will make it easier to maneuver. Rest your palm on the domed top and hold the serrated knife parallel to the top of the cake. Lightly score the edge where you'll make the cut. Gently begin sawing back and forth into the cake. When you've made one cut, rotate the cake and make another cut. Step 2. Prepare to frost. Put the bottom layer of cake on your cake platter. Tuck in strips of waxed paper beneath the edges of the cake to keep the platter clean while you're frosting. Lightly brush loose crumbs off the cake. Step 3. Prepare and brush on simple syrup. Simple syrup is a baker's secret that adds flavor and moisture to your cake. To make simple syrup, add 1 cup of sugar and 1 cup of water to a medium saucepan and bring to a boil. Flavor your syrup if you like. Let the syrup cool and strain out any solids before you brush it on the cake. Step 4. Frost, layer, then frost again. Place a large dollop of frosting on the center of your first layer. Spread it evenly to the sides. It doesn't have to be perfectly even because the top cake layer will flatten it out. Carefully place the top layer, cut side down, on top of the frosted layer. Do your best to align the layers. Don't worry if frosting squeezes out the sides. You'll use that later. Brush off any loose crumbs from the top and apply more simple syrup. Step 5. Make the crumb coat and chill out. Spread a thin undercoat of frosting to keep the cake crumbs under control. Bakers call this a crumb coat. Put a small dollop of frosting on top of the cake and smooth it out. Remember, this is a thin undercoat, so don't worry if you can see the cake through the frosting. Next, spread a thin layer of frosting around the sides of the cake. Now you can smooth any frosting that squeezed out from between the layers earlier. Chill the cake in the fridge until the frosting is firm to the touch. If you're in a hurry, pop it in the freezer. Step 6. Add the final coat of frosting. When the first layer of frosting feels firm, it's ready for the final coat. Put a big dollop of frosting on top of the cake and spread first over the top, then down the sides, rotating as you work. For a super smooth finish, dip your offset spatula in hot water. Shake it off, then use it to smooth the frosting. The heat from the metal melts the frosting just enough to even out any dips and bumps. Put the finishing touches on your cake with edible flowers, fruit, chocolate shavings, or sprinkles. When you've finished, carefully pull away the strips of waxed paper and wipe off any spills with a damp paper towel. Now get the candles ready and let the celebration begin.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Dinner Table, the show about food. My name is Anthony Russo, and today we're going to be talking about Thanksgiving. As you know, North America is a huge melting pot. Do you think everyone celebrates Thanksgiving in the same way? Do you think they eat the same foods? Let's ask some people and find out. How would you explain Thanksgiving to someone outside of North America?
Well, you know, Thanksgiving's a unique holiday. It's kind of a time to sit back, relax, and a little reflection on how you should be thankful for what you have.
Hi, what's your name?
My name's Joe.
What do you folks serve for Thanksgiving Day? Traditional Thanksgiving Day meal?
Oh yeah, we have the big turkey. We usually have 2 of them because there's so many of us. Cranberry sauce, mashed potatoes, gravy. Yeah, it's great.
A lot of food, a lot of food. Now, Joe, you have a lot of food, a lot of dessert. There must be a lot of dishes and cleanup. Do you pitch in?
Cleaning is definitely a part of it. You wash dishes, you clean the table, you bring it back into the kitchen.
So there's got to be a lot of leftovers.
Nothing beats leftovers after Thanksgiving.
And that'll last you through the weekend.
Oh,
yeah.
for the whole week. There's so much food.
Do you have a favorite part of Thanksgiving?
My favorite part of Thanksgiving is coming home and seeing everybody and seeing my grandmother, who I love very dearly.
That's always nice. Any family traditions that have carried on throughout the years?
The main family tradition is probably football. Because the Detroit Lions always play on Thanksgiving, so my uncle always has to watch the Detroit Lions play.
And what food is served on Thanksgiving?
Well, we'll have a turkey. We'll also have stuffing and macaroni and cheese and mashed potatoes and sweet potatoes, but I don't really like sweet potatoes.
You got a lot of food there. Must be some leftovers.
There are not a whole lot of leftovers by the time Thanksgiving is done.
And Grandma gets all of them if there are any.
Grandma gets all of them. Grandma gets whatever she wants.
That's great. Any specific dishes that are family tradition?
Well, we definitely have the traditional Thanksgiving food, turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, but I'm Korean, so we also usually have some sort of rice with kimchi. Kimchi is a definite must because we're Korean. As well as various other Korean food. We usually have our relatives like potluck and bring something with them, so whatever they decide to bring.
What do you do after the meal?
We are usually pretty comatose because of all the food that we've eaten. So we sit around and we usually talk. Sometimes the grown-ups will play old Korean card games. And the kids usually just sit around and talk, or we go out to a movie. That's usually what we do.
Well, have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
How do you spend Thanksgiving, Juan Carlos?
I spend Thanksgiving with friends.
Sounds nice. With all those friends, there must be some great food. What food is on the menu for Thanksgiving?
My friends always cook the traditional Thanksgiving dinner. However, I bring also a dish from my home country, Venezuela.
And what dish is that?
Maracuchitos, which is plantain with cheese, fried, and very, very delicious. It's always a hit.
Sounds good, sounds good. And how about for dessert?
I usually also make sweet from pineapple and papaya. We serve that with ice cream. It is another hit.
Wow, sounds like a fantastic meal.
It is a big celebration.
All this talk of food is making me hungry. I'm Anthony Russo from Dinner Table, wishing you and yours a happy Thanksgiving.
Hi, Luis.
Hey.
Sorry I'm late.
No problem.
The bus was late. You take the bus. You know how it is.
I do, but soon I won't. Check this out.
Wow, that is a really nice car.
Yeah. After I graduate, I'm buying it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What does your wife say about this?
I may have to talk Carmen into it.
Oh, Will's here.
Hey, Jessica. Hey, Louise.
Hey, Will.
Hi, Will. What happened to your leg?
Ugh, there was a puddle. A nice day for a ride.
Well, speaking of rides, check this out.
Oh, that is nice. Wait, are you thinking about buying this?
Yep.
Wow, when?
Soon. After Carmen and I graduate.
Well, hold on. Do you need a car?
Not today, but soon we will. And anyways, don't you want a car, an apartment, and a job?
Yeah, but nowadays it's safer to get the job first, then the apartment, then the car. So if you get the job first, then you won't have to worry about paying for all the other stuff.
But I can take out a loan. It's a good way to establish credit.
That's a good point.
People used to pay for things with cash. They didn't buy on credit. If you borrow money to buy the car, you're going to have that debt for years.
And even if you can manage the debt, you're gonna have to spend a lot of money on the car. You're gonna need to pay for car insurance. You're gonna need to pay for gas.
Yeah, and you're going to have to pay for repairs. And if you're not careful, you're going to pay parking tickets. It all adds up.
You're right. I didn't think about all the expenses.
After graduation, I'm still going to take the bus to work, but that's okay with me. Public transportation in this city is very efficient.
But when you take the bus, you're late. How efficient is that?
Oh, don't worry about me. When I have a job, I'll leave early enough to make sure I get there on time.
Maybe you should wait to see what job you get. Once you know where the job is, and if it's nearby, you won't need a car. You could walk or bike like me.
Okay, you're right. There's no good reason for me to buy a car after I graduate. But look at it. Isn't it beautiful? I mean, what's so bad about me wanting to buy this car?
Oh my gosh, is that Emmy?
And she's driving your car.
Look, don't worry about it, Louise. It's just a car. Easy come.
Easy go.
Yes, Natasha.
Mr. Verdi, the internship candidates are here.
Wonderful. Send in the first candidate, please.
Hello.
Welcome. You must be Susan Ahn.
Yes.
I'm Mario Verdi, account
Nice
director.
to meet you, Mr. Verdi.
Hi, and I'm Danielle Derby, design director.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Oh, thank you.
You have a very impressive resume, Susan. Tell us about yourself.
Well, Mr. Verdi, I'm creative, and I think that my artistic style will fit in well here.
I see you're quite skilled with computers.
Yes, I know all the main design programs, and I'm actually designing a website for my father's business, and I'm taking a 3D software course this summer.
Excellent. But won't you be too busy for an internship?
Oh, no. I love being busy.
Great.
Do you have any sales experience?
I worked at a retail store last summer.
Do you like sports?
Sports? Well, not really. I'm not very good at them.
Neither am I.
Yeah. Susan, we do a lot of advertising for sporting goods. Would you be interested in working on those accounts?
Of course, Mr. Verdi. I would love working on any account. I just want to learn all about the business.
And in 3 words, how would you describe yourself?
Creative, organized, and professional.
Well, okay, good. I think we have enough to go on for now. We'll let you know either way.
Okay.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Natasha, send in the next candidate, please. Come in.
Hi. I'm Scott Robbins.
Hi. Mario Verdi, account director.
Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Danielle Derby, design director.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Wow, look at this. I love this company's work. It's very cool stuff. It's the
Great.
best, really.
Oh, hey, thanks, Scott. Sit down.
Sure.
So, what do you see yourself doing here?
Well, I love sports, and I love marketing, and I can sell anything.
How are you with numbers?
Well, I enjoy working with numbers, Mario.
So, you think you'd make a good salesman?
I do.
Why?
Well, I'd make a good salesman because I can quickly calculate percentages and then convince people why they should hire us.
Good, good. Okay. Yeah, I'm done. Danielle?
Tell me about your computer skills, Scott.
Danielle, I enjoy working with computers. I wouldn't want to be in front of one all day, but I don't mind using them.
Well, what design software programs do you know? Would you be able to create a banner ad for a web page?
I could try. I don't mind trying new things because I'm a very fast learner.
And in 3 words, how would you describe yourself?
Simply the best.
Great, thanks for coming in. We'll let you know either way.
Great.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
I like that kid.
I thought he was too much. I can't stand that salesman personality thing.
I think our sports clients would like someone with that kind of confidence.
Maybe, but not all our accounts are sports accounts.
So you prefer Susan?
Yes. She's creative, level-headed, and seems hardworking and reliable.
Yeah, but she's not interested in sales.
No, I guess not, but I don't think Scott knows anything about design.
What do we do?
I have an idea.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right, you're like a kung fu master, okay? You are a kung fu master. Bring it up. You are like a 10th degree black belt. Nobody can touch you. Bruce Lee has nothing on you, okay? All right? All right?
Who is Jay?
All right.
Come on.
All right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, now let's bring it down. Now let's, okay, you're a bush, okay? You're serene.
For as long as I can remember, my brother and I have been traveling together, through good times, bad times, and even the very weird times. This is Derek, and I'm Paul, and on this trip we're going to Peru to see the ancient Incan city of Machu Picchu. Derek and I started our Peru adventure in Cuzco. From there, we hiked the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu. Finally arriving just before dinner, we got our first glimpse of the ancient site. Well, here it is, Machu Picchu. After a grueling trek and donating a pair of sunglasses to the Inca gods somewhere along the trail, we finally made it. Now, to see it this empty right now is really rare. By mid-morning tomorrow, it'll be covered with literally thousands of people. We're gonna hike back up in the morning, see if we can get the sunrise and see what Machu Picchu is like first thing in the morning. The closest access point to Machu Picchu is a town called Aguas Calientes, which is 6 kilometers away from the ancient city. Here, travel-weary tourists are offered all the amenities of home: hotels, hostels, restaurants, and even internet cafes. However, it should be noted that large tour groups will often come into town and rent out entire hotels. So we suggest either booking a room a few weeks ahead or arriving in town on the earliest train to make sure you have a place to stay the night. Although Aguas Calientes is a relatively new town, ancient techniques are still used by local craftsmen in the town's ongoing construction. There's also a great open market in town where local fruits and vegetables are available to ensure you won't run out of energy exploring Machu Picchu. Rising early the next morning, Derek and I made our way back up the trail to the ancient city. These ruins are visited by approximately 2,500 people every day. We wanted to get there early and see as much as we could before the hordes of visitors arrived. There are basically 2 ways to get to Machu Picchu from Aguas Calientes. You can take one of the mini buses that leave from the center of town, or you can take a steep, winding trail all the way to the top. Machu Picchu, which means Old Peak, was constructed around 1450. However, as the empire collapsed under the Spanish, it was abandoned roughly 100 years later. Machu Picchu was forgotten by the outside world. In 1911, the site was rediscovered by explorer and historian Hiram Bingham with the help of some local residents. He started the huge job of clearing away hundreds of years of forest growth from the city. When Hiram Bingham came across this site, the overgrowth was unimaginable. Trees, rocks, shrubs cover the entire area. But luckily for them, it looks like the Inca invented the riding lawnmower. The construction of Machu Picchu is still a mystery. Human remains were found on the bottom of the mountain, but nobody knows how many people died building the city. And nobody knows if some kind of rope was used to climb up and down. But we do know that the Inca were master builders. Machu Picchu is comprised of approximately 200 buildings. Most of them are built out of blocks of stone. The blocks were cut with bronze or stone tools and they were smoothed with sand. The blocks fit together perfectly without mortar. Even a knife blade can't be forced between the stones. There are many theories about Machu Picchu's actual purpose. Some say it was a defensive retreat for the Inca elite. Others believe that it was the estate of an Inca emperor. Either way, it is obvious that the Inca valued their environment. Nature's image is carved into the surroundings throughout the city. Towering 1,200 feet above Machu Picchu lies Huayna Picchu, which means young peak in Quechua, the native Inca language. Derek and I decided to climb Huayna Picchu for a different view of the ancient city. If you decide to make this trek, you won't be disappointed. The peak is dotted with temples and terraces that look down on Machu Picchu. With heavy hearts, we finally left Machu Picchu and took the train back to Cusco. As our trip came to an end, Derek and I agreed that Peru is an amazing country, and we are sure to be back soon.
I'm Kai Nagata, and I'm a TV reporter. I work for the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, or CBC, and I've been working for the CBC for the last 2.5 years. We're here in our Montreal headquarters. This is our main newsroom for all of Quebec, and behind me you can see both radio and television journalists working hard to hit their 12 o'clock deadline. When I walk into the office in the morning, I never know what I'm going to get. Every morning, I'm assigned to a different story. And I have to figure out where to go and who to talk to be able to tell that story. I've been living in Montreal for 4 years now, ever since I drove here from Vancouver. When I first moved to Montreal, I could barely speak French, but I've been listening to people and talking with them, and now I feel like I can understand almost everything people say to me. My father's family is Japanese Canadian. My father's grandparents emigrated to Canada more than 100 years ago, and at the same time, my mother's ancestors were coming to Canada from England and Scotland, and then my mother and father met up 3 generations later. As a kid, I liked to ride my bike. That was my main source of enjoyment and exercise and fun. I still like riding bikes. If I couldn't ride a bike, I don't think I could be happy. I've been riding my bike to work every single day since I got to Montreal. When I first started off at the CBC, I was on the radio side. I went out as a radio reporter and I covered all the same news stories as the TV reporters, but only for audio. Then I was promoted and moved over to television, and so for the last year, I've been telling all my stories visually. In the past, TV reporters had to rely on a big crew, a big team carrying lots of heavy, complicated equipment. But with new technology, I can do a whole TV story on my own. I've been producing stories for TV using just a video camera in my backpack and a laptop computer. Lately, I've been thinking a lot more about traveling. I want to tell stories in other countries and meet people from around the world. I'm sorry, 1 second, I'm getting a phone call. That's my boss. Hey, Pete. When I first started working at the CBC, I was assigned to much simpler stories, like maybe a house fire or a car accident. But lately, the CBC has been working on investigative stories about corruption, about organized crime, and about the links between politicians and criminals. And I've been working on a lot more of those stories lately. Yeah, I got it covered. All right, I'll see you soon. This is actually what I love about this job, is on any given day, I have no idea what they're gonna ask me to do. I love this job, and I think I'm gonna be a journalist one way or another for the rest of my life. Bye.
Here I'm in Boston. My trip has been really fun and interesting so far. I've gone on walking tours, which taught me a lot about the history. I ate some really good clam chowder. I went to a baseball game. But I think the best thing about Boston, the street performers. So what'd you think about his act?
I was amazed by what he could do and all the things he could make out of balloons.
Yeah.
This man is really talented. It makes you feel like you're a child again. I think adults and children both really enjoy what he's doing. It's exciting to walk by someone on the street and suddenly they're just making something creative out of a balloon.
What do you think about street performers?
I was pleasantly surprised to come to the park and find street performers here.
What words would you use to describe that performance?
Exciting, amusing for Kate.
Amusing? Yeah.
Yes.
How do you think she felt?
Oh, she loved it. I was amazed by the talent. I didn't realize that there was so much talent among the street performers in Boston. It definitely made me feel alive and energized.
So what'd you think of his act?
Well, I thought it was fascinating.
How did you feel about his performance?
I thought it was great. I thought he did an excellent job.
Did you enjoy it?
I loved it.
What is it like playing for the general public?
I like it. I enjoy it. It's satisfying.
Could you play us something of your own?
I'd love to, sure.
This has been such an amazing day. These performers were so talented. I want to be one. I don't know, you tell me, I don't know. Come on, what do you think?
You walk into a job interview.
You must be Janet.
Count slowly to 7. In that amount of time, you will have been evaluated and major decisions will have been made about your credibility, confidence, and competence. I'm Carol Kinsey Goman, author of The Nonverbal Advantage: Secrets and Science of Body Language at Work. According to research at New York University, you've got just 7 seconds to make a lasting first impression. Obviously, you won't impress anyone by what you say in 7 short seconds. In fact, it's all about what you don't say, your body language. Here are 7 powerful ways to make a positive first impression at your next job interview. First, adjust your attitude. Don't wait until you enter the interview room to warm up. Before you walk through the door, think about the situation and make a conscious choice about the attitude you want to embody. Attitudes that attract people include friendly, happy, approachable, and curious. Stand tall. Project confidence and credibility by standing up straight, pulling your shoulders back, and holding your head high. Just by assuming this physical position, you'll begin to feel sure of yourself. smile. A smile is an invitation, a sign of welcome. It says, I'm friendly and approachable. In fact, research shows that if you smile at someone, it activates the reward center in that person's brain. Make eye contact. Looking at someone's eyes transmits energy and indicates interest and openness. Look into the interviewer's eyes long enough to notice what color they are. With this one simple technique, you will dramatically increase your likability factor. Raise your eyebrows. Open your eyes slightly more than normal to simulate the eyebrow flash that's the universal signal of recognition and acknowledgement. Lean in slightly. Leaning forward shows you're engaged and interested. We naturally lean toward people and things we like or agree with, but be respectful of the other person's space. Shake hands. This is the quickest and most effective way to establish rapport. Research shows it takes an average of 3 hours of continuous interaction to develop the same level of rapport that you can get with a single handshake. Make sure to hold the other person's hand a few seconds longer than you're naturally inclined to do. This conveys additional sincerity. Every interview is an opportunity to increase your skill at making a positive first impression. You've got just 7 seconds, but if you handle it well, 7 seconds are all you need.
In the United States and Canada, as in most countries, people like to invite guests to their homes, but sometimes misunderstandings occur and embarrassing things happen. Everyone seems to have a story about a difficult situation involving a guest. We're going to look at some of those stories today, then ask people what they would do in these sticky situations. Let's take a look.
I was invited to a party, and I arrived an hour early. I thought it would take me longer to get there. Well, Rebecca came to the door wearing sweatpants and an old t-shirt.
Hi. Oh, hi. Rebecca, am I too early?
You're the first one.
I'm the first one.
I could hear the shower running in the background, and of course, not a single guest was there.
Wow. Well, we asked some people about what they would have done in this situation.
What would I have done? I would have pretended to have an errand to run in the neighborhood, like going to the drugstore, the grocery store, and then I would have told her I'd come back later.
If I were him, I would have apologized and then offered to help with things like setting the table.
You wouldn't have left?
No, I don't think so.
And what if the situation were reversed? What would you have done if you were the host and a guest arrived early?
If I were the host, same thing really. I would have invited him in and put him to work.
What would you have done? Now let's take a look at another predicament.
I invited my boss and her husband to dinner the other night. We had a great time, but she just wouldn't leave. By midnight, my husband and I were so exhausted. Finally, my husband fell asleep at the table. My boss was very embarrassed when she realized it was so late. I just never know what to do when a guest won't go home.
So, what should the host have done? Let's get some opinions.
I don't care if she is my boss. I think I would have reminded her how late it was.
I wouldn't have done anything, except pretend I wasn't tired. After all, she's your boss.
I'm not sure, but I think I might have lied and told her I had to wake up early in the morning. Then I would have thought of some reason.
What would you have done? Let's take a look at one last situation.
My new neighbor invited me over for lunch. I was a good guest. I came on time, I left on time, I even brought a loaf of bread. It's a good thing, too, because I couldn't eat anything else. You see, the host served seafood, and I hate seafood. I'm not allergic to it, but I really can't stand it. I probably hurt her feelings, but what should I have done?
What should the guest have done? Let's see what the people we talked with had to say.
I think I would have lied and told the host that I was allergic to seafood.
I think you should eat whatever the host makes, even if you don't like it. I mean, if someone goes to all the trouble to cook you something, it's rude not to eat it.
You know, I had a similar experience once. I served a dish with tomatoes in it to someone who was allergic to them. He broke out in a rash. It was terrible. Now, when I invite people to dinner, I tell them what I'm planning to make sure that they can eat it. The host in that situation should have asked her guests about food allergies and food preferences before she planned the menu.
What would you have done? We've heard a number of practical solutions to some difficult guest situations. Now you should be ready for anything.
Hi, Sophia.
Hey, Tim.
I was thinking about our plans for Saturday.
Yeah?
You said that you'd make me dinner, and that's going to be great. But I was thinking, could we invite a few more people? You know, since it's my birthday.
Oh, well, I already tried that, Tim. Everyone told me they were busy.
Really? Well, I think I'll ask a few people again. Maybe they can change their plans. After all, it is my birthday.
Hello?
Hey, Steve. It's Tim. What's that noise?
Oh, sorry, I'm salsa dancing.
Really?
Yeah, I'm practicing. My mom's coming to town and she wanted me to take her salsa dancing. Can you believe that?
I didn't know you were into salsa dancing. Good for you. Hey, that's not on Saturday night, is it?
Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. Sophia told me that it's your birthday on Saturday. Sorry, I can't be there.
That's okay.
But have a happy birthday. I'll make it up to you, okay?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Jessica, it's gonna be fun.
Uh-huh. Sophia wanted me to tell you that if Tim calls...
Hey, it's Tim on the other line now. Let me get this.
Wait!
Hi, John.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, I was wondering, what are you doing Saturday night?
Hi, Tim, it's Jessica.
Jessica? I thought I called John.
You did.
Are you guys at John's?
No, we're on a conference call.
Oh, okay. I was wondering...
John isn't available, Tim.
Huh?
John, can't come to your dinner Saturday. I just asked him. And he told me that he has other plans.
I did?
Yeah, you just said that you were playing guitar with your band someplace. In fact, I was very surprised that you were playing. Very surprised.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm busy playing on Saturday. Sorry.
But you said you weren't in the band anymore.
This is my farewell concert. I have to do it.
I guess you'll miss my birthday. Too bad.
Yeah, but I can't get away. You know how it is. Maybe you guys can stop by the club afterward?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks. That sounds like fun.
Cool.
Hello? Is anybody home?
Who is it?
It's Tim.
Oh, come on in. Hi, Tim. Glad you can make it.
It's my birthday. I wouldn't miss it.
Pretzel?
Sure.
Let's sit. Isn't this wonderful? Hey, how about some TV? I wonder what's on.
Live from Cleveland and the around the world.
Surprise!